What if Nezuko teams up with Zenitsu instead of Tanjiro? Will Tanjiro live through Nezuko's reaction of completely ignoring him, or will he adopt a different reaction? Most importantly, how would the story of Demon Slayer progress if this happened? Be patient, because we have 3 interesting theories over this hot what-if topic. But before we talk about them, let's have a little introduction to Zenitsu's love story. In the original timeline, Zenitsu is shown as a big pervert, but not gross. He asks about everyone he sees, and of course, he gets ignored every time. But when he saw Nezuko, he thought that he had a chance. He fell deeply in love and started daydreaming his life. And from there, the love story of Zenitsu progresses. But as far as the story is concerned, it's just a one-sided love. Yeah, I know. It's pretty tragic and sad too. Nezuko doesn't love her back equally, but even worse, she pushes him away and instead stays by Tanjiro's side every moment. But here's when our what if adds another timeline to the story. Instead of Zenitsu getting ignored, it could have also been Tanjiro. In the first theory, we have a happy ending and a happy sequence. When Zenitsu proposes his love openly, Nezuko also shows her the same love. Both of them behave like our normal teenage couple. Hands in hands, they take the life of every human eater demon that crosses their love. Their love shows no boundaries. It grows endlessly, and both of our characters show exponent growth too. With a lover by side, Zenitsu recognizes his responsibilities. He does more training, owning his skills better and faster. He knows that he has to protect Nezuko, and all by himself. In this love story, Tanjiro supports his sister, though at first when Nezuko ignores her brother, it hurts Tanjiro's heart. He's doing all of this just for Nezuko, and seeing his only sister ignore him like this, it's a deep arrow to the heart. But as time passes by, Tanjiro recognizes that it is Nezuko's own personal life. She should be given the freedom, the independence to continue her life as she likes. So Tanjiro moves on with life and supports her sister in her cause. Even though he's not as powerful in the original timeline, he still stays in the Demon Slayer's corpse, just to keep an eye on her sister forever. Seeing her smile cherishes Tanjiro's heart. It heals him from his past trauma. On the other hand, Zenitsu and Nezuko fight on the front lines. At the entertainment district, they're powerful enough to take Daki down by themselves. As for Daki's brother Gyotaro, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and now flashy Hashira Yuzui collectively managed to take him down. After Yuzoi's retirement, Zenitsu climbs up to the rank of a Hashira. Yes, it's that sudden. With Nezuko by his side, every step he takes is just a bed of roses. Moving on, the story progresses with even fewer casualties. Meanwhile, Zenitsu also finds a cure for Nezuko. During the final arc, Zenitsu fights relentlessly against Muzan in the Upper Moon, but he waits for the moment that precedes the fight. Nezuko getting healed and hugging Zenitsu. Well, that makes up for an emotional and really happy ending for Demon Slayer. But, that was just one among the 3 theories. And theory number 2 is where it gets a bit darker and interesting. You see, when Tanjiro gets out of the main story and gets ignored by the person he contributed everything for, it hurts him. It hurts him so much that he doesn't have the courage to stand up and face his sister and his friend Zenitsu ever again. Crying and sobbing, he leaves the Demon Slayer's corpse. He wanders around, while Nezuko enjoys her life with Zenitsu. In this expedition, he comes 1 versus 1 against an Upper Moon, and gives his life willingly with no restraint. Pretty sad. Bad Nezuko, that certainly isn't the behavior one shows to one's big brother. And of course, the outcome can turn even more tragic in certain cases. On the other side, we have the happy Demon Slayer corpse, completely unaware of where Tanjiro went, what became of him, or what actions did he take. Sadly, with no Tanjiro around, we lose that hot spirit and enthusiasm that Tanjiro prevails in his presence. The story progresses, but this time a bit harshly. During the entertainment district, Zenitsu, Nezuko, Yuzui, and Inosuke win the battle against Upper Moon 6, but at a high cost. We lose Yuzui, who was still wounded and poisoned. As for Inosuke, well, we all know him. He has the spirit of a beast, and his body easily fights the poisons. Zenitsu also gets really injured in this battle, and it takes him 2 whole months to fully recover. As for Nezuko, she recovers by sleeping for an astonishing 4 months. Quite an elongated hibernation. Progressing this, we have the Swordsmith Village arc, where Nezuko and Zenitsu fight against Tengu. With Zenitsu's lightning speed, he has a bit less trouble chasing down the main head of the demon, but the problem arises when he tries to slash the puny creature. His sword isn't polished enough, nor does he have the strength. This is where Nezuko arrives, drenches Zenitsu's sword with her blood, and puts it ablaze. And after some really big and enduring battle, he succeeds only with Mitsuri's help. Fortunately, this hot waifu survives the battle. During the final showdown against Muzan, Nezuko is also fighting on the front lines. In this timeline, we never got to see the possibility of Nezuko returning back into humanity. It was during this tough battle that Zenitsu and Nezuko felt like something or someone was missing, but they don't really remember. They get vulnerable, and right when they're about to lose, they remember what it truly was that's missing. Tanjiro. They made him suffer a really terrible fate, as so they must atone for their sins. As the fight progresses, Zenitsu and Nezuko sustain a lot of injuries, but the very thought of Tanjiro keeps them fighting. If they die here, they'll never be able to atone for their sins. After a long battle, they succeed, but at the cost of their lives. In the final moments, they lay down, apologizing for what they did, and then they meet Tanjiro in the afterlife. And now, we have our last theory, and by far the darkest one. Just as in the previous theory, Tanjiro gets hurt by seeing the reaction of his sister, and that's the base of a villain's origin story. When he went on his way and encountered a demon just like the previous theory, he was heartbroken. But unlike the previous theory, Tanjiro also feels hatred now. His feelings were perhaps so strong that they didn't let him die. When an upper moon faces him, which probably is Doma, he fights back. Seeing the emotions of severe hate in Doma enlightens him of Tanjiro's potential. So he doesn't kill him, instead turns him into a demon. A bloodless demon who has nothing to lose now. In under a month, Tanjiro destroys villages among villages. He takes the life of every single human being that crosses paths with him, and they fuel him, growing him as a demon even more and swiftly. Tanjiro soon replaces an upper moon, probably upper moon 6 at first, but he doesn't stop there. He continues to climb the ranks and perhaps becomes equal to even Kokushibu. At the Swordsmith Village arc, Tanjiro accompanies Gyoko at the Swordsmith Village arc, and well, he's a far greater threat and more powerful opponent than Hantengu. As such, he kills Mitsuri easily. Here, he also adopts the Hinokami Kagura Flames. Seeing a demon use this technique for the first time in centuries is really interesting and shocking. As for Nezuko and Zenitsu, both of them tremble in Demon Tanjiro's presence. They're too afraid to move even a muscle. Somehow, Tanjiro doesn't get the urge to kill either Zenitsu or Nezuko. Deep down, he's still the kind-hearted Tanjiro we all know and love. And it was the Tanjiro living deep inside Demon Tanjiro that kept him from killing the couple. But the sights of Nezuko give him some flashbacks. Not bad ones, but good ones. He starts to get a vague idea of his true identity. At that point, Tanjiro vows to take down the demon army himself. He's too overpowered now, and so he kills every demon that tries to intervene with his ideas. He also negotiates with the Demon Slayer's corpse and makes the ultimate plan of killing all of the demons. For starters, Tanjiro takes a Hashira into custody. Let it be Yuzui, since he's already retired. He doesn't kill him, but rather explains his plans to him. Yuzui trusts Tanjiro and helps him in his further negotiations. On the other hand, Muzan considers absorbing Tanjiro to get more powerful. Since he's a demon wielding the Hinokami Kagura Flames, absorbing him will do Muzan a lot better. So Muzan commands Akaza to get a hold of Tanjiro, but Tanjiro, as strong as he is now, easily kills Akaza. Then Muzan considers the real threat Tanjiro offers as a demon, so he makes an alliance all to kill Tanjiro. On the other hand, Tanjiro catches the news through the winds. He asks all of the Hashiras to hide themselves and catch Muzan off guard when he attacks him, and this goes right according to plan. After the epic showdown, we have all of the demons defeated except for two of them, Tanjiro and Nezuko. Nezuko also realizes the grave mistake she made once, and she hugs Tanjiro, but they have to kill all of the demons. So she sets herself along with her brother ablaze. Soon, they turn into ashes. Meanwhile, Zenitsu cries endlessly. This could also have ended as a 1 versus 1 battle between Tanjiro and Muzan, but that's perhaps the topic of some other video. In the meantime, you can check this other cool video about what if Nezuko was never turned into a demon. Click on it to see. Click it.